Good evening and welcome. My name is Kristen Zaccello, and it is my honor and privilege to be here this evening and welcome you all to the 8th Annual Community Inclusion Awards. I'd like to recognize and thank the many members of our state and local government and school department administration that are in attendance tonight. State Representative Mark Cusack, members of our town council, Shannon Hume, Tom Bowes, Charles Ryan and Michael Owens, members of our school committee, Lisa Heeger and George Kokoris, our school administrators, our new superintendent, Dr. Frank Hackett, our assistant superintendent, Jennifer Fay Beers, and our director of special services, Jeff Rubin. And how could we forget Dr. Peter Kurzberg, who still continues to support this event. Thank you so much for being here. On behalf of this committee, I thank all of you for your endless support of this celebration and those people we're here tonight to spotlight, and especially for showing all of us that you believe in Braintree as an inclusion community, like our sign says at the north and south end of town. Your enthusiasm in recognizing those who make significant contributions in the inclusion of all people in this wonderful community is obvious. Each and every one of us has unique challenges and strengths. The word inclusion is a term sometimes used by people with disabilities and other disability rights advocates for the idea that all people should freely, openly, and without judgment accommodate any person with a disability without restrictions or limitations of any kind. For me, and for so many in this room, the concept of inclusion doesn't have to be so complicated. It just means everyone is included. Everyone. Clearly, the individuals we celebrate tonight are of like minds, since every one of them was surprised to know that they were selected to be honored this year. You will hear some really uplifting stories of great kindness, acceptance, guidance, and friendship. You'll see how simple inclusion is. You'll hopefully be inspired to open your minds and hearts to the idea of inclusion and how each person in this world has value, is unique, and has a contribution to make. The recipients of this year's Community Inclusion Award can be role models for us all, regardless of age, regardless of their place in this wonderful community. They've shared and simplified the concept of inclusion with everyone around them in the most natural way. If we're to be an inclusion community, we need to give each other the space to grow, to be ourselves, and to appreciate one another. This is how communities like Braintree are beneficial for everyone. I'd like to introduce next James Breen, an author, advocate, motivational and inspirational speaker and coach. We are so fortunate to have Jamie here tonight to share with us some of his thoughts on inclusion. Come on up, Jamie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Kristen. How's everybody doing tonight? I want to thank everybody for being here on this 97-degree night and sitting in this room and being together, because that's what it's about. It's about community, and it's about being together, and it's about recognizing people and everybody, and not just people with disabilities. I am sitting in a wheelchair, and my disability is kind of obvious. I have cerebral palsy, which affects my legs mostly, and that's why I have to be in a chair. And that is the simple explanation, the one that takes 30 seconds, and the other one will probably take 3 hours, and we don't have 3 hours. So that's the short explanation of me. But it's not about me. I recognize that they could have picked anybody to be up here and to kick off this great event, but they chose me, and it's a great honor to be chosen to speak today. Community is about everyone. Community is about coming together for a common purpose. And as Kristen said in her opening, everybody has challenges, not just people with disabilities. You look around the room and you realize that everybody, no matter who you are, has a challenge, or they will be challenged at some point in their life. And it's not only about people with disabilities, it's about everyone being positive. And you could have chosen to be anywhere else tonight, and your minds could be about thinking about anything else. But for right now, I'm privileged to have you all sitting here listening to me. So if you could take a second and close your eyes and just be appreciative for this shared experience. Be appreciative for everybody coming out and recognizing the contributions and the impact that we all can have. Because a lot of people ask me, it's like, I don't know if I can have my own impact. I don't know if I can do it. I'm not extraordinary. And you don't have to be an extraordinary person to have an impact, clearly, because everybody here in this room right now can have an impact. You don't have to be one of those superheroes. You don't have to have one of those big red capes. You don't have to run around saying that you're going to do something great. By being positive, being genuine, and being honest, you can all have an impact. And it's kind of sad, but a lot of people lower their expectations for people with disabilities. And that's not how it should be. And this night is about recognizing those people who do not do that. These people do not see others with disabilities as somebody who cannot contribute, somebody who cannot give their gifts to society. Because everybody deserves an opportunity to contribute. Everybody has unique gifts and talents to give to the community. And I am not the only one who can do that. I am not the only one who has a voice. But I will speak for those people who cannot. I will be the person and the role model who will stand up here and say the words that a lot of people cannot. And that is my biggest honor because, like I said, there could be a million other people who are chosen to do this, but they chose me. And I've done a lot of presentations, but the ones that are based in the community, the ones that are close to home, I'm from Scituate. But when I hear about an event like this, I can't stay away. I can't stay away from events like this because great people are being recognized, and great people deserve to have their contributions and their efforts honored. And, I am just the first person to share my story with you, but we will hear a lot of great stories here tonight. And I just want everybody to keep in mind, that this night is not supposed to be a one-time thing. This night is supposed to be a symbol of the momentum that is building. Because this night's going to come and go. It's going to come and go, and people might forget about the impact that it can have to have people working for a common goal. I don't want this night to come and go, and then people get busy with their everyday life, and they forget about it. Because people with disabilities and people in general have something to contribute, and they should not be forgotten. It's great that we have nights like this, but I don't want it to come and go and then come around next year and have their one night. It's a constant effort. It's a positive effort. It's a positive effort. And all it takes is a little open-mindedness and enthusiasm. And I couldn't help but smile coming in here and seeing everybody with so much enthusiasm for what's happening. And that's what it takes for something like this to keep on going. Positivity and enthusiasm. If you want people in the community to grow, everybody has to come together. It's not just one person. It's not just a group of people. It's everyone, from people in chairs to school teachers to town administrators to baseball coaches to I saw my friend over there. To anybody, you don't have to be an extraordinary person to make an impact. And I'm just so grateful to be here, and I'm so grateful to be the first voice that everybody hears, because it's not too often that I get to stand up here and say what's on my mind. But I hope you guys really enjoy this night, and please don't let this be a one-time thing. Don't let this be a one-night thing where you come and you show up, and then 1 year goes by and it's like, oh, we have to go to that award ceremony again. And it's like, inclusion is an everyday thing. Everybody has things that they can offer the community, and I'm not being dramatic when I say everybody has things they can offer the world. It's just about the matter of perspective and how you view people, because everybody deserves their opportunity. And I'm grateful to be here. So thank you very much, and enjoy your night.
Thank you so much, Jamie, for being here today and sharing your thoughts on inclusion with us. Now, Jamie won't tell you this, but he has his books here tonight. They're for sale. They're $20, cash or check, and he is available to autograph them or personalize them for you today. Hi, I'm Lynn McPhail, and I'm so honored to make the presentation to the first 2016 Community Inclusion Award recipients, Luca Silvestro, along with his parents, Mike and Lisa. Luca is a 4-year-old student at the Braintree Integrated Preschool. Luca is a natural includer and a person who doesn't notice differences between children. They are all just children and friends to Luca. When Luca talks about his school day at home, it's just so-and-so this, so-and-so that. Typical conversations about what he and his friends did. It wasn't until Luca's birthday, when all of his classmates were invited to his party, that Luca's parents learned about the significant differences of some of his friends. Luca and his parents were nominated for this award by the Integrated Preschool Director, Dr. Jessie Sue Milo. Dr. Milo described for us the inclusive party that Luca's parents hosted at their home for his 4th birthday. But when I asked Mike and Lisa about the special efforts they made for this inclusive birthday party, they didn't know what I was talking about. They emphasized to me that the dinosaur-themed birthday party they planned was just an age-appropriate party for their son, not anything special or different from what others would have done. Well, Mike and Lisa, many parents of special needs children would tell you something different, that their children are not invited to birthday parties, or that they are unable to participate in the planned activities. Luca's parents noticed that extra steps were needed for them to include all of Luca's classmates at his birthday, and they took action to accommodate the inclusion of everyone at the party. For example, Mike and Lisa noticed a student would join the class after the invites went out, so they left a blank invitation with the teacher to give to the new student. They also made sure that all of the children coming to the party could participate and enjoy the activities. We have no doubt that Luca and his family will continue to notice and take action to include everyone in our community, and we hope that their example and efforts will teach and inspire others. Now I'd like to ask Dr. Milo to come up and tell us some more about Luca.
Good evening. It's my privilege to speak on behalf of Luca Silvestro and his family. Luca and his family demonstrate the spirit of inclusion within our preschool setting by opening their hearts and their home to our little friends with special needs. Luca attends our preschool as a role model student. Part of Luca's job is to model the behavior of typical 4-year-olds. Luca's instinct to include everyone is anything but typical. You see, many of Luca's best friends are not yet able to respond to him verbally. Some cannot yet walk. Some cannot see. Some are not yet able to move their arms or their legs by themselves. Luca does not see these differences. These are simply an opportunity for him to step in and figure out how to include everyone. Luca emphasizes how he and his friends are alike. They both love Spider-Man and Star Wars, and they don't like to do their folder work. He puts toys in his friends' hands so they can see it, because they're blind. He asks to hold his friends' hands during activities. He encourages other children to interact with his friends by saying things like, "It's okay, you can give him a hug, do it just like this." Luca's acceptance creates a classroom environment not challenged by fostering inclusion, but by managing preschool students squabbling over whose turn it is to help push the wheelchair. Luca had a birthday in November, and he wanted his whole class to attend. Luca's family hosted that birthday party, and children with mobility, visual, neurological, and complex medical needs and their friends celebrated a 4th birthday party. The Silvestros family phoned the preschool and asked for advice on how to accommodate 3 wheelchairs and tremendously diverse abilities. They took great care identifying activities in which all children could participate and created an experience of acceptance and warmth. When one of Luca's friends with medical differences was out sick for a few days, he went to visit him at home just to be sure that he was okay. Luca demonstrates a warmth, understanding, patience, kindness, and openness that is only possible in the presence of a supportive family, classroom, school, and community. His ability to include others is heartwarming, inspiring, and makes it possible for others to follow his example. If we cultivate a culture of inclusion at this young age, then we create a community in which everyone will grow and learn together. Luca and his family are an exceptional example of the spirit of inclusion. Last week at Luca's request, I made countless Play-Doh whales at Play Choice time. I told Luca that he'd see me outside of school so that I could give him a prize for being a special friend. He looked really confused. I said, "Well, what do you do for your friends that's special?" And he looked up at me in perfect 3-year-old articulation and said, "Nothing." Well, Luca might think that he isn't doing anything special. What he and his family are doing for children with special needs is everything I hope for and so much more. It is with tremendous admiration, gratitude, and joy that the Braintree Community Inclusion Awards Committee is able to honor this exceptional child and his family with the 2016 Inclusion Award. Luca, Lisa, and Mike, please come up and accept your award.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Steph Brown, and I am thrilled for our next recipient, Bill Berman. I don't want to say too much because Sherry pretty much puts Bill on an inclusion pedestal with her heartfelt speech. Bill is a no-frills kind of guy that sees everyone able to do anything. He is passionate about his work and his teaching ethics. He makes sure that the child who is a little more experienced in something can help another not so comfortable at that task. Kids, as well as grown-ups, are drawn to Bill's enthusiasm and huge heart. I will now hand the podium over to Sherry Tuckus, speaking on behalf of a few other nominators about this amazing man, Bill Berman.
Hi, everyone. On behalf of the children, parents, and the Braintree community, I am honored to present one of the 8th Annual Community Inclusion Awards to Bill Berman. He authentically demonstrates what it means to support and foster inclusion in our community. True inclusion allows children and youth with various disabilities to develop a sense of belonging outside their families, with extracurricular activities that are available to them. He is someone who includes everyone in multiple public forums working with children. Bill is the baseball coach at Archbishop Williams High School. He's worked and demonstrated his gift with many other kids in the community, coaching them at multiple venues, including the Braintree Baseball Club, Baseball Buddies, Superstars, and private sessions with children. And I'm sure there's many more that I forgot or wasn't aware of. In December 2015, my son Nick had the opportunity to work directly with Bill and some of the other coaches at the hitting clinic within the Braintree Baseball Club. Nick had never played baseball, and in a short amount of time, he became very passionate and wanted to learn more in hopes of playing Little League this year. After observing Bill coaching all of the boys in the club, I asked him to privately teach Nick. These private lessons were at the busy club in a private cage in close proximity to other boys of various ages. I have witnessed Bill's interactions with all of the kids at the BBC, and he's able to customize his teaching style to each child who enters into the cage. He consistently demonstrates his ability to communicate on a level that reaches each child he's working with. He encourages the kids to learn from their peers by paying attention. In Nick's words, he said that I was a leader in front of the other kids and that they could learn from me because I was paying attention. That made me really happy because I know he wouldn't lie. He's just not that type of guy. In another private session, in Nick's presence, Bill asked a group of AAU baseball players around his age how long they thought Nick had been batting for. These boys said, "A few years." Bill made sure that these boys knew that Nick had only been in the cage learning and hitting for the past few months. He made Nick feel comfortable about being a new learner. He made it okay for him to let others know he was a new player, a new kid on the block, and possibly a new friend. There are many common themes in the nominations as to why Bill deserves to receive this award. Some of these include integrating all children together to learn and play sports, creating learning opportunities beyond the specific sport he is coaching, always focusing on the positive no matter what situation presents itself, authentically complimenting a child in front of other children when it warrants praise, establishing an environment that encourages kids to be themselves and making them feel comfortable in doing so, creating a fun experience for the kids he is coaching and to love what they are learning, spending extra time with the kids when they need it. Some of the things that my son and other kids have verbalized about Bill include, he just knows, and I don't know how he knows what it's like to be me. It was destiny that Bill helped me pick out a bat to borrow that belonged to his boy. He's the best coach ever, and I wish he could coach me forever. He's good at being a baseball coach because he makes me good at baseball, and he's awesome. Bill has taught, coached, and advanced the baseball skills of my son and other boys who are now confident enough to play Little League for the first time in the Braintree community. These children have been assured that they can be who they are and participate alongside their peers in a sport where they may not otherwise have had the opportunity to do so if they hadn't met and worked with Bill. To be great is to understand, and Bill humbly understands more about inclusion than anyone I have ever witnessed. It is evident that he loves connecting with all children by teaching life lessons through baseball, and he does so with kindness and respect for everyone. He's been a pivotal, positive influence in my son's life and the lives of other children who have worked with him. He has brought a level of greatness for all to learn. He is genuine, supportive, empathic, and above all, kind. He's a kind man, and the world certainly needs more of that. This man deserves to be celebrated and recognized. Bill Berman, one of these awards definitely belongs to you.
I need you right here, buddy. Come here. This is Maddie Brown.
Hey.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
We like to call him Downtown Maddie Brown. Just quickly, this I couldn't. This is unbelievable. My neighbor from 40 years ago was here, Mr. and Mrs. Ridge. My freshman baseball team showed up. The band had showed up from the baseball club, coaches, and so many families that I didn't know were coming. I wish I could name all of you, but I really appreciate it. I like what previous speaker said. It's not difficult. It's a joy. I get more out of it than these kids do, trust me. We all have had our demons. We all have our issues. And I just can't stand when people are cut out because of a perceived disability. What I found out is every kid has abilities. And it's just a little bit of effort to research them and find out. I found out that Nick, Miss Sherry Tutkus, who just spoke, son, hearing impaired. Well, when I taught him visually, he was unbelievable. Because of his hearing impairment, he was able to see better than most kids his age, because he's not been able to hear well for so long. So you just twist it, you figure it out. They deserve it. Every kid deserves it. Just a few people to thank. I love what Jamie said. It's a day in, day out thing. I'm passionate about it. I love it. I love these kids like they're my own. They're all my boys. Because they come with fire in their eyes and a big heart, and they love me. You just saw Maddie. Where'd you go? Did your mom make you do that? That's okay, buddy. Thank you, sir. Am I right? I mean, it's the coolest cat in town right there. I just want to say to the boys, you're the future right there, and this is, you know. This is a complete surprise that any of them came. I just saw my Archie's boys yesterday, and nobody mentioned it. But my captain, Riley Solani, got the boys with Mike Javazzi and Alex Kennedy to get over here and show up. That's a lot of class, gentlemen. That's what we're talking about. It's never about baseball. It's always more than baseball. It's about treating people right in the way they should be treated. And you've treated me really well tonight, so thank you so much. A couple of other specific people. Carrie Doherty's the reason this all happened. Many of you know her. She runs a Superstars program here in Braintree, and the families that nominated me are originally from that program, most of them. And as they got older and outgrew her program and wanted to try Little League, it was only natural to bring them into the baseball club, which was very easy when I called the owner, Jimmy Joyce, my boss, teacher at South Middle School, and said, what do you think? And next thing I knew, there were blocks of time open for these kids. And, and we just got it going. There's no manual on this. We just figured it out. And so Jimmy, John Ricciardi, the heart and soul of the baseball club, are really to thank. Brendan Morrison over there in the red shirt next to my Archies, he did the clinic with me. And when we had kids of different abilities, all the way from never playing all the way to all-star players. He helped me to figure out how to do this. So Brendan, thank you. Young man, I want to point out quickly, Jackson Mazza, right there in the fourth row, white shirt. Stand up, Jackson. Jackson was in on those clinics, and Jackson's a stud. Jackson's an outstanding baseball player and a better young man who you're going to read a lot about in the coming years as he moves on. And I asked him, and when I found out that Matty Brown was on his team, I said, I'm afraid for this kid. It's the first time he's playing ball. His mom's afraid. His dad was afraid that he'd get hurt, get made fun of. And I said, you're the man on that team, and everything goes the way you say it goes. So Jackson has been instructing Matty during games, patting him on the back whenever times get tough, and that dictates how every other kid goes. So Jackson, thank you for your help. Okay. There's just so many parents to thank for the support, all of you for coming, and the greatest parent of all time, my mother, Roseanne. She's originally from the North End, so if you want to talk till midnight, she'll be outside, and I'll probably be right next to her. My aunt came down from Danvers with her friend Ann, my cousin Dana, Tommy, Kerry's son, my oldest friend Mark O'Sullivan and his girlfriend Sandy. Met Mark first day of 7th grade at Thayer Academy. The O'Sullivans, that if you're a hockey fan, you know who they are. Okay, BK, you're my boy. All right, my sister-in-law, Eden, my cousin's girl. Gianna, my cousin's other girl, and Kerry's beautiful daughter, who I've known since she was a little girl, and she runs Superstars when her mom's not around. And she might be the most inclusive person I know. Julia Doherty, right here, sophomore at Braintree House. And there's my brother Andrew, who's over at East. Hey, forget about it. And his boys right here, the crew. They're over at East Braintree Little League, trying to help out over there. Again, thank you all for coming. And let's keep this rolling. There's no need for it to stop. There's no need. All right, thank you so much.
How am I going to follow that? Hi everybody, my name is Linda Kokoris. I am so happy to be here tonight to celebrate some very, very special people in our community. I am honoured to be presenting one of the 8th Annual Community Inclusion Awards to an exceptional young man and high school senior, Nick Sarno. I want to tell you a little bit about Nick before I introduce a speaker to say a few words about him. At a young age of 18, Nick has already established himself as an inspiring advocate for the special needs community. He has dedicated himself to bettering the lives of children who need some help throughout Braintree. There was something very special that Noreen Devlin saw in this young man when she met him after being recommended as a junior counsellor for the Super Saturdays programme. Nick was immediately comfortable with all of the students, she told me in conversation. He just fit right in. Nick is also an intern in the Project Proof program at BHS. Walk by any of the Project Proof classrooms during Nick's studies and you will spot him in the classroom assisting in any way he can. Nick is also Vice President of Best Buddies. He volunteers for Special Olympics. He volunteers for Project Proof. He volunteers for the Challenger Baseball League and works for Super Saturdays. But most of all, he is loved by all of the children he is involved with. You will find Nick hanging out in playgrounds on the weekends when he could be out with his friends, like many other 18-year-old seniors. And no matter how many times he gets a text from one of his special friends, he always answers back. Nick has truly fostered inclusion in his life on a daily basis and is a role model to his friends and family. This is why Nick Sarno has been chosen for one of the 2016 Community Inclusion Awards. I would like to invite Tara Hyland up to speak to say a few words on behalf of Nick. Thank you.
Last September, Doreen Devlin from the Special Education Department emailed me Nick's name and contact information. She thought he might be a good candidate as someone to help me manage outings with my 2 special needs children who both have autism. I have to admit that I was taken aback to see a boy's name in her email. All I could picture were the crazy 17-year-old boys that I saw around the high school. Noreen told me to trust her, and I'm so glad I did. It quickly became apparent that helping me with my kids was not something Nick did to look good on his resume. It was part of the bigger picture of his devotion to special needs causes. And the bigger picture is very impressive. Just some of the work he does includes Best Buddies, Special Olympics, Super Saturdays, and Challenger Baseball. People keep telling me how glad they are to see a teenager win this award, and I know what they mean. Nick is truly a rare breed of teenager. At an age where he should be more worried about his appearances and what people think of him, Nick is the one driving around with the car seat in the back of his car so he can take my son out on outings in the community. At an age where he should be sleeping in and relaxing on his days off, Nick gets up early on the weekends to help with Super Saturdays or Challenger Baseball, and has even arrived at my house at 7 o'clock on a vacation day to help me get to the Children's Museum 2 hours before it opens for a special needs event. At an age where his technology interests should revolve around his phone, he takes the time to learn how to use my son's communication device so he can better communicate with him. At an age where he should be more worried about his friends, he takes the time to text me to tell me that he saw my preschool daughter at school that day, and he's excited to let me know that she made great eye contact and said hello to him by name. Nick is truly an advocate and friend to the special needs community. He is kind, compassionate, and selfless in everything he does. He has certainly been an invaluable part of our family for the past year. He has enabled me to attend events and outings with my 2 kids that would not have been possible without his help. His natural ability to connect with my disabled, nonverbal son is something that doesn't go unnoticed. I have had numerous strangers approach me at the playground to tell me how amazing my older son is with my younger son. After getting over the shock that they thought I had an 18-year-old son, I realized that they see in Nick what I see, which is someone who is so deserving of this award tonight. In September, Nick will be leaving to attend Bridgewater State, where he will be studying moderate to severe special needs education for middle schoolers and high schoolers. In 4 years, Mr. Rubin, he will be graduating, Mr. Rubin, as an outstanding candidate for any school district, Mr. Rubin, that is lucky enough to have him. I'm so happy for him. I'm so proud of him. But most of all, I'm grateful to him. Congratulations, Nick.
Everyone, let's celebrate and call Nick Sarno up to receive his award.
Thank you.
Stop.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. First, I got to start off by saying This is my first speech, so it's probably going to be terrible. Bear with me. Mrs. Kokoris, wherever you are, I don't know where you went. Thank you very much. We go way back, 6th grade travel basketball. Loudest fan in the stands, I have to say. Tara, Dwayne Dahlbeck, Bethany Doherty, and Noreen Devlin. Thank you guys very much for thanking me for this award. It's very thoughtful and it's truly an honor. Dr. Mary Ford Clark, Kim Lorenko, Lauren Oriola, and Annie Hall. You guys have led me down an amazing path to pursue a career in special education, so I thank you guys very much for the unbelievable support. Nancy Bucknam. Where do I even start? My quote-unquote project-proof mom. You are super supportive, and it's honestly an honor to be awarded the same award that you have gotten a few years back. Thank you very much. Kip. You all probably know Kip. Way in the back, yellow shirt, sticking out. You started all of this. I met Kip back freshman year. He was my freshman basketball coach. I remember going to practice, and always has a smile on his face, always very positive, always bringing me to the side, talking to me, giving me pointers. And then junior year, at the beginning of the year, he asked me if I wanted to volunteer at Project Proof. I gladly said yes, and that sparked everything. He's one of my biggest role models. I definitely would not be where I am today without him, so thank you. The students' families, thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to work with all your kids. It's honestly a passion of mine. Thank you very much. My family, my aunts, my uncles, my grandmother, my brother, my sister, thank you guys for the unbelievable support. Wouldn't be where I am without you guys. And last but not least, my mom and my dad. Definitely would not be the young man I am today with you guys. You guys helped me along the way, always there by my side. And thank you for being amazing parents. I have to say that I would not be here without any of you guys, all of you guys. Thank you very much. And at the end of the day, it's not about awards like this. It's about the students having a good time, laughing, smiling, and just living the dream. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Eileen Donahue, and I am honored to present the 8th Annual Community Inclusion Award to Allison Young. Allison is an amazing 5th grader at the Flaherty School who takes it upon herself to befriend children who have a difficult time socializing with other children. Allison is a natural includer. This may sound simple, but it is not. She noticed children not being included and took it upon herself to include them. She provides a sense of belonging and normalcy for these children. In doing this, she has become a role model for the other typical children in her class. Her kindness has become contagious, as the other typical children had followed her lead and have included the children from the developmental classes in their playgroups. These are attributes of a person who fosters inclusion. This is why we have chosen Allison Young as our 2016 Community Inclusion Award winner. Now I'd like to introduce Stacy Soto, the principal of Flaherty Elementary School and also one of Allison's nominators, to speak about Allison.
Good evening. I'm so excited to be able to share with you about this incredible young lady named Allison Young. Allison, as you heard, is a 5th grader at Flaherty School. She joined our school 3 years ago as a new 3rd grader coming in, having no experience at Flaherty. Allison has not only embraced the entire Flaherty community, she has taken us to places that we had not yet explored. At Flaherty, we have 5 developmental programs for children with autism. The developmental needs are up and down the spectrum, and each child is an individual and are a wonderful, treasured member of our school. Since I have been the administrator at the school, we have been trying to find the perfect opportunities for inclusion that meets the various needs of the students that we have every year in our programs. The ABA classrooms consist of students who some are nonverbal, who use communication devices to speak. Some of the children have difficulty socializing and need guidance on how to play with others. Their programming is extremely individualized and very supported. Before we had our smaller playground, some of the students in these programs were going outside to the larger recess and were truly a little bit overwhelmed with the commotion going on with 80 children running around. Allison noticed the children and their teachers outside and struck up a conversation with the staff and students. She began playing with the children in these programs at recess at her very first year at Flaherty. Most of the children in the programs are very reserved and don't seek out the social interaction with peers. Allison gravitated towards these children right away and through playing with them, taught them how to play at recess and what a real friend is. She introduced the students to some of her friends, who in turn joined her in including the children from the programs in their recess time as well. The children in these classrooms began to seek out and look for Allison and her friends at recess, looking for social interaction for the very first time. Since Allison developed these relationships, the students in these classes look forward to playing with other children and are much more engaged. Allison wanted to play with the students during rainy days as well, so she offered to go to their room when recess was indoors. Sure enough, the very next rainy, cold day, there was Allison knocking at the door of the classroom asking if she could come play with one of the girls in the class. The teacher was thrilled. Allison worked on turn-taking, talking to each other, and just how to play a game with a friend. She continued to go into their classroom for recess, bringing different friends each time. Since this was so successful for all students involved, we took on a model called reverse inclusion for the 3 programs we have now at Flaherty. Allison was the creator of the reverse inclusion model at Flaherty now, where students from all the grades have times they can go into these program classrooms during their recess time and either play inside or outside. Every student wants to be part of it now. Flaherty now has a newly fenced-in small playground area that includes a painted kickball field, hopscotch, 4-square, a basketball hoop, around-the-world squares, and a track for the tricycle. The students have followed Allison's lead to participate in playing those outdoor games with all of the students in the programs. These relationships have promoted a lot of language from the students that they hadn't been given before. They want to play with their peers and are learning how to play at recess. Allison and her friends also volunteered during the students' physical therapy time because children learn from children better than they can learn from adults. They work with Mrs. Fennell, our physical therapist, to help the kids develop their gross motor skills while learning how to play a game and have fun. Allison has been instrumental in creating a sense of belonging to all children at Flaherty. She has helped us create an atmosphere where inclusion of all is expected and celebrated. Allison is also an author. She's not just a 5th grader. She has written 3 books, which her parents have published, about a child named Elizabeth who has autism. The books not only tell a story of Elizabeth and how she appears to be different from her peers and how she is accepted, but it also helps educate the reader that even though some children do different things and can't talk or sometimes don't look at you in the eye, they are still kids that deserve a chance. The books include sections on what is autism and teaches the reader. Allison toured the schools throughout the month of April, which is Autism Awareness Month, to read her book to the classrooms and open up discussions about autism. She brought awareness and acceptance to all 365 students at Flaherty. Allison has also initiated a fundraiser for a family in Canton that lost their child while outside in the snow. She brainstormed ideas, planned out a pajama day event, sent out flyers, and made announcements about the special event. Allison herself, a 5th grader, made a difference and raised over $1,000 for that family. Her thoughtfulness and ability to empathize with others is helping other Flaherty students come forward with ideas of how they can help others in need. They saw Allison make a difference and want to be part of that as well. She found a way to include our community in our school's thoughts and actions and continues to do so. Allison appreciates everyone for who they are and will not stop until all students and people are included and appreciated. This girl has a very, very bright future ahead of her. We will be hearing about her. And Mr. Rubin, I want her at Flaherty when she graduates. She is already making a difference, and I am so excited to see what else she will accomplish. She is truly an amazing young woman, and we have many teachers here, especially from our program, to thank her as well. Allison Young, please come up and receive your 8th Annual Braintree Community Inclusion Award.
Good evening. Just at the outset, I'd like to congratulate our committee, Stephanie, Eileen, Linda, Lynn, and Kristen, on another great program. It's hard to believe this is the 8th program, but thank you for all that you do and your work here tonight for this very special evening. So thank you. And thank you, Jamie, for that very inspirational speech. I look forward to buying your book and then reading your book. My name is Mark Cusack, and I have the privilege of representing Braintree in the Massachusetts House of Representatives. And on behalf of the whole delegation, Senators Keenan and Joyce, who couldn't be here tonight, they are currently, they're still debating the Senate budget, their version of the state budget, and fighting for many programs that are near and dear to my heart, and those programs near and dear to people's hearts in this room. Fully funding the special ed circuit breaker, concurrent enrollment so children with different abilities can participate in higher education, turning 22 programs and funding those so that the students have an easier and children have easier transition, but also to mitigate some of the fear and uncertainty that many of the parents deal with when their child does turn 22. Those and many other programs funded through the state, and this year looks like most of them will be fully funded again. It's nights like tonight that really show us what a special place Braintree is. And as Jamie reminded us, though, it's not just about tonight. It's about every day practicing inclusion. And when we do that, as the mission statement says, communities that include all people are healthier, more balanced, and positive for all members. And that's the community we have here in Braintree. And it's in part thanks to everyone in this room, but especially tonight to our award winners. So I congratulate you and present you, on behalf of the Massachusetts House of Representatives, a citation which reads, "Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers sincerest congratulations to each of you in recognition of your efforts that clearly demonstrate your commitment to inclusion in the town of Braintree, Massachusetts. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors." It was given today, the 26th of May, at the State House in Boston, signed by the Speaker of the House, Robert A. DeLeo, and myself. So congratulations to each of you.
Good evening. Welcome, everybody. I just want to thank CPAC for once again hosting this event and for inviting me. I've been here for 8 years, and I've been honored. This is the best event in Braintree. For those of you, it's your first night. You will understand by the end of the night why I say that. There's many familiar faces out here tonight. There's many new ones. There's educators, there's parents, there's students, there's athletes, there's coaches, and you're all incredible, and you're all here to be inclusive and promote it. And if you're here because, as Jamie said earlier, about this night, you're going to go home and you're going to tell everybody, and you're going to learn more about inclusive and do the research as Bill Berman did. But this event here tonight has grown. The first year was a good amount in attendance, and it has grown. And that's because the idea of inclusion is spreading in Braintree. A few years ago, Mayor Sullivan proclaimed Braintree an inclusive community. I don't think there's another community in Massachusetts, is there? Let's say we're the first, because Braintree's awesome. But my name is, I should have started with that. My name is Shannon Hume. I'm on the Braintree Town Council. I'm honored here to be representing the entire council. I'm here with some of my colleagues tonight, Councillor Tom Bowes, Councillor Charlie Ryan, and Councillor Mike Owens. There is a common theme from the first year to tonight, which is 8 years, that everybody who's been nominated said, but I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything to deserve that award. And that's because they get it. All the recipients tonight, you men and women, you get it, and young ladies, they get it. And okay. I do. I love this night. I do get emotional about it. So the goal here tonight is to leave and be inclusive. And I just ask that all of you do leave here tonight and you talk to everybody you know. And for you young athletes, you students, share that amongst your friends who weren't here tonight on the baseball field, the soccer field, the football, whatever it may be. Because as Mr. Berman said, you are our future. It starts when we're little. And maybe we won't need these awards someday because every single one of us in this community across the country will be inclusive. So thank you again to CVAC for having me here tonight, and I want to thank you to the award recipients tonight for doing a fabulous job in representing yourselves, your families, and the town of Braintree in a absolutely superior job. I commend you all and congratulations. And I do have commendations for each of you from the town of Braintree, the Braintree Town Council. Each individual one is personalized, so I won't read every single one, but it's signed by our council president, Sean Powers, Charles Ryan, myself, Charles Kokoros, John Mullaney, Tom Bowes, Stephen O'Brien, Michael Owens, and Paul Dan Clifford, So again, Bill Berman, Nick Sarno, Lucas Bistro, and Allison Young, congratulations on a job well done.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Heeger. I'm the chairman of the school committee, and I'm also very fortunate to be the liaison to CPAC. So it's my honor to be here tonight to present the Braintree School Department commendations to this year's recipients. It sounds like we have a couple of educators and maybe 4 years and maybe, 12 or 17 years for Allison, but you make us very proud. And on behalf of Dr. Frank Hackett, our superintendent, and the entire school committee, congratulations.
That all the recipients please come up to receive your commendations from Representative Cusack, Shannon Hume, Councilor Hume, and School Committee Chair Lisa Heeger.
Congratulations. Thank you. Very inspirational.
Thank you. You're right, Nick. Loudest one in the stands. Thank you, Mark, Shannon, and Lisa. The Inclusion Committee would like to thank BCAM, our community sponsors, Montilio, UPS, and the Everyday Cafe for sharing their wonderful, treats with us this evening, and for their wonderful job sharing our stories out in the community from the secret room out back. Thank you to Bob Icardi for being here, but we are the most grateful for Mayor Sullivan. We thank him for his tremendous support of this wonderful event and of this wonderful community. He leads us in our community and supports the concept of inclusion every day in his word and deed. For that, we couldn't be more grateful. Thank you, Mayor Sullivan.
Kristen Zachello, everybody. How about Kristen Zachello, huh? What a team. So I'm supposed to have the difficult assignment of closing this out, but I don't want to leave. Do you want to leave? No. Tonight is, what? It's not hot, it's all in your mind. Tonight is a tremendous night for us as a community, and I promise you I won't go on long, but I do think it's important, and I want to underline some of the comments that were made this evening. Tonight is a celebration. It's a celebration of our community. And I think it demonstrates as well that the centerpiece of every community is its educational environment. And there is no one in Massachusetts that has a better educational environment than Braintree, Massachusetts. That blue sign over there, as you come in from Holbrook on Route 37 or you come off the expressway in Cape and Circle, that's the best sign in Braintree. And it's a signal to everybody outside of Braintree that we are not only an inclusion type of community, but we care. We care until it hurts. We care until it hurts, and that's a good thing. That's a really, really good thing. Barbara was active, my wife, in the CPAC a few years back, and I know, and let me just say, could we have done it without this group right here? Tremendous work. I want to thank you guys tremendously for everything, for pushing us. There's actually, I want to tell you this. I said this last year, but I want to repeat it. Lynn McPhail was the one who said to me, we should have a sign in Braintree that says we're an inclusionary community. It was Lynn McPhail who said that to me. And Kristen Zakella said, yes, we should. And of course we listened, because we must. To the 4 recipients tonight, we saw Luca as he was leaving. Is Luca still here? Is folks still here? I know they had to step out. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, we're talking about all these jobs for these kids. Luca's a future superintendent. A 4-year-old, the youngest ever. Coach Berman, Coach, I don't know what the wins and losses are, but I can tell you, you're number one. You're number one. It doesn't matter. Doing that Tremendous. Coach, I've seen you in action, Coach, and the impact that you have on these kids and other children who come in your path is just such an energetic multiplier. It's beyond description. And so I want to express appreciation to Nick. Where's Nick Sano? Nick, that was not your first speech. At the age of 18, I still can't give a speech like that. You running for mayor? Tremendous job, young man. Gene Flaherty said to me that you're one of the nicest kids ever, and that's become very apparent. And Allison's come over to our school committee, and Allison's an author, Pulitzer Prize winner someday, I know. But the way in which she includes all the kids around her is just a role of leadership that you just don't expect from a 5th grader. But she has it instinctively. And I think obviously it comes from her family and other friends and relatives in her life. But I would say, and I hope Allison would agree, that the foundation comes from the town of Braintree. And so as we celebrate the Inclusion Awards, we talk about not only the need but the obligation to have an inclusion type of program that's not only tonight but demonstrated every day here in our community, because it brings with it a strength and a level of vibrancy and a level of high quality that not only makes us better but hopefully is emulated by other communities as they see how well Braintree is doing. When you have this level of communication and as a community, a partnership, and people who lean on one another, you have an inner core strength that you can't even imagine. There is nothing that is better than having this type of celebration. And so I want to express appreciation to all of you, to the teachers, to the administrators, to Dr. Hackett, to members of the school committee, to the members of the town council, to our former superintendent, Dr. Kurzberg, all of you. I want to thank you, particularly to the teachers. I want to say thank you for being teachers. I want to say thank you for instructing our children. Thank you for taking care of them. To the parents, I want to express appreciation as well, because it's you who allow us as a community to try to educate your children, and I think we do it pretty well, but we couldn't do it without the partnership that we have. I can't tell you how proud I am to be mayor, particularly on a night like this. Braintree rules, and we demonstrate it once again tonight. Thank you all.